Zang, The Organ Systems of Traditional Chinese Medicine by Jeremy Ross. Chapter 7. Shen and Guang. Guang. Functions. There is a very close relationship between Shen and its paired food, Guang. The latter receives, stores, and transforms fluids prior to their excretion from the body as urine. The fluid received by Guang is an impure fraction received by Shen from Fei and from Xiaoqiang and Daqiang. The ability of Guang to retain and transform the fluids depends on Shenqi and especially on Shenyang. If these are deficient, Guang cannot properly retain the fluids and there may be enuresis, incontinence, etc. Alternatively, there may be difficulty in urination with retention of urine. Since the primary function of Sanjiao is Jingye, movement and metabolism, there is a functional link between Guang and the lower jiao especially. If there is a failure of the function of Sanjiao to allow free movement of Jingye, for example, if the water passages become obstructed, dump may accumulate and on stagnation may become dump heat. This may be aggravated if there is also depression of guanqi, and if there is heat, especially dump heat, in gan and dang channels. Also, if Xin fire moves downwards into Xiaoqiang, this heat can move into Guang, giving a pathological link between Guang, Xiaoqiang, and Xin. Hence, via the metabolism and movement of Jingye, Guang is linked in physiology and pathology with all the other Zangfu. Patterns of disharmony. The most important pattern is that of damp heat in Guang, which is sometimes divided into various subcategories. Some texts also list the category of deficient Guang qi, but this has already been dealt with in this book under the heading of deficient Shenyang. Damp heat in Guang. Signs will vary depending on whether the pattern is based on deficiency or excess, on which Zangfu disharmonies predominate, and on the preponderance of heat or cold, deficient yin or deficient yang in the particular patient. For example, if the damp condenses to phlegm, the action of heat on the phlegm may give rise to stones. Generally, there may be cloudy urine, perhaps with blood or stones. Urination may be frequent, difficult, urgent, or painful. There may be signs of heat such as thirst, fever, rapid pulse, and red tongue with yellow coat. And there may be signs of damp such as slippery pulse and greasy tongue coat. Origins. As shown in figure 7.4, depression of guanqi, deficient sanjiao, deficient fei qi, deficient pingyang, or invasion of external cold and damp may originate stagnation of damp. Deficient shen qi may interact with deficient fei qi as described above. Deficient shenyang may contribute to deficient pingyang and may facilitate the invasion of external cold and damp. Chronic retention of cold and damp in the lower jiao can eventually injure shenyang, just as long-term retention of damp heat can injure shenyin. Depression of guanqi may give rise to gan fire, and emotional disturbance may originate or aggravate gan and xin fire, and also deficient shen, gan, and xin yin. The resultant heat may then move downwards to affect Guang, originating or aggravating the condition of damp heat. Treatment. The principle of treatment is to spread Guang qi, clearing damp heat from the lower jiao, and to treat any additional disharmonies. The method of treatment may be reducing method, even method, or reinforcing method, depending on the situation and on the point used. Shen Shu, bladder 23, strengthens Shen and regulates the passage of water, especially in the lower jiao. Guang Shu, bladder 28, strengthens Guang and disperses the qi of the lower jiao. Chun Qi, Ren 3, alarm point of Guang and intersection of the three leg yin channels with Ren channel. Disperses damp heat in lower jiao. Zang Yin jiao, which is spleen 6, regulates Shen and Guang and strengthens Pi. In Ling Guang, spleen 9, disperses stagnation in the lower jiao, especially of damp heat. All these points clear damp and heat from Guang and the lower jiao. In the case of a predominantly excess condition, these points would be used with reducing or even method. Common disease patterns. In this pattern of damp heat in Guang are included cystitis, prostatitis, bladder stones, and general inflammatory diseases of the bladder and urinary tract.